What they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste, the therapist. Let's go. Every hug, every kiss, every touch, every person in my life that I care about and love. But wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste, the therapist. Let's go.
We're back. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me better now? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I hope y'all can hear me now. Okay. I was trying, this is a new program I'm using and I was trying something new. Hey Wes. Hold on. If you guys know Mr. Car Logic, he does these like relationship podcasts, and he comes on and he told me about this and I never used it. And so like I'm super geeked right now. Hold on. How did you cope with today? Okay. So yeah, I'm like super geek. You can hear me. Hi. So my name is Celeste. Now that we got everything on it. Okay, so this is the person right here. Mr. Car Logic is the one. He's the one who had tried to put me on a long time ago. And I was so stuck in my old ways that I was just like, I'm okay. So yeah, so now that I know how to use this feels like amazing. So yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah, so you guys, make sure you guys follow Mr. Car Logic on Periscope. So I'm streaming on, oh, I forgot about Instagram. Hold on, guys. Let me just get on Instagram real quick. So I am, sorry, because there's some people that are diehard Instagram. They won't move over to the dark side. So yeah, make sure you guys follow Mr. Car Logic. It's okay. Don't worry about Instagram. That's like a hater statement what you just made. That's a real hater statement to say don't worry about Instagram when you know people use what they use and they ain't going nowhere. So we are streaming on 4 different platforms. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube live, and we are doing our nightly check-in. So if you don't know and you haven't seen me all week, I've been coming on all week, checking in. Been coming on in the morning and coming on in the evening to kind of check in and talk about like how people have been coping. One of the things that everybody has by now learned how to do is wash their hands. So, you know, that's been pretty stressed to the public, making sure that we're washing our hands. But the other thing that that hasn't been stressed enough is like, how are you caring for your mental health? So that's why I kind of wanted to come on and talk about that. So today for me, if you don't follow me on my personal Instagram, yes, but the investors need to care for their mental health. Yes, that's true. And I think because we can't see it, it's easy for us to not take advantage of taking care of ourselves. There's so many outside factors that are beyond our control that we have been only focused on. Doesn't mean that we shouldn't look at it. But we can't only look at the outside factors. It's important for us to kind of look at what's taking place internally. That's huge. Hey, Bree. So for me today, so I was already working from home, but you know I have my kids home, and today we went for a hike. So when the question I'm asking you guys is like, how did you cope with today? And if you say like I didn't cope well, the answer is I just didn't cope well. So you know, it's not like every day it's going to be a good day. I mean, the hope is that it can be a great day, but some days aren't as good as others, and that's okay. So one of the things I want people to understand that like it's okay to say that I'm not okay. There's no shame in that. In fact, it's very freeing. It's very therapeutic, and you actually become more stronger when you can admit that you're not doing well. And so like, that's the thing that, you know, whether we're talking about what's happening now or prior to now, one of the things that's important to do is pay attention to your mental health and how you're coping. Hey, Charlie. My days was filled with a lot of rest. Okay, so you had some rest. That's good. One thing about rest is good. I think rest is important. The 3 things that we have control over on a regular basis that kind of control our mental status is our sleep, what we're eating, putting in our body, and how much movement we're giving our body, right? So rest is important. But speaking of rest, I think it's easy now where some people stuck at home to just kind of only rest. So I want to make sure we're not only resting, like we're not only sleeping the day away, and we're trying to be productive, because just staying stagnant and not doing anything, not creating a plan. Hey, Letitia, not creating a plan, staying stagnant, that is like a breeding ground for like, now I'm at work. Okay. That's a breeding ground for like negative thoughts to just come and start floating up in your head. And so that's not healthy. And not having any community. I got angry today. It happens. Yes. Thank you for being honest, Bree. I appreciate you for saying that. How many times can I clean my desk at home? Hey, Joanne. So Joanne, I just can't stand you. So Bree said she got angry today. Bree, how did you cope with your anger besides admitting that you got angry today? Because one thing I want to make sure that we're doing is that we're resetting, right? So if we end up angry, irritable, upset, whatever it is that the emotion that we're dealing with, I want to make sure we are able to reset. I can't stay home any longer. Oh no, hey Lisa. I want to make sure that we are able to reset. So I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. I prayed after. Okay, so praying is good. That's something that a lot of people have utilized in the past, but may have not tapped into recently. So adding a little prayer can help. I feel like it's like a form of meditation, whether or not you are spiritual or not, making space to take time and really like observe what's happening, so that it's just not happening, right? I always tell people, like, you have a whole world happening inside of you, and a lot of us aren't paying attention to it. So so Jawan said, like, how many times can I clean my desk at home? And I get that, like, when you're only in one spot, it's kind of hard to think outside the box. Oh, home workouts home workouts and reading have been heaven for me. Oh, that's good, Mr. E. Jones. So Mr. E. Jones on Periscope says that he has been utilizing home workouts and reading. So, Jawan, how many sports? I know you, and you're a soccer head. I know you miss your sports, but reading and working out is something that you can do daily. Reading is good for your brain. You can learn a lot of things. I really like that comment about the workouts and the reading. Anyways, I'm just gonna ignore that comment. Thank you for sharing that. How has everybody else been coping with being at home or dealing with the anxiety of what's taking place? Like, how have you been able to kind of get through the moments? Sometimes it's like a moment by moment, like you literally got to take it one day at a time. And that's why I was telling people to kind of like wake up and try to be intentional about planning your day. Even if it's something that you do at night, like before you go to bed, think about, like, what's my intentions for today? One thing about me is I'm an intentional person. I think it's important to start our day with intention, even if we're not really going anywhere. Like, besides like going for a walk or going for a run, there's not really like much that can happen. So Bree says, cooking is therapeutic for me. Cooking is another good one. And speaking of food, be mindful of how much we are eating, because again, the food intake is something that's important to pay attention to. Right? How much you're eating is going to be important. It's easy for us to eat out of boredom. My gardening is getting all the smoke. That's good, Jawan. That means that you're tending to your plants. That's really good. So Warrior Grandma says, how do I deal with my depression during this time? Hi, Warrior Grandma. Thank you for being here. So when it comes to your depression, part of like the coping strategies that I talk about in regards to creating a routine, paying attention to what you're eating, paying attention to how you're sleeping, is going to be important, because there are going to be moments where we're going to feel depressed. There's going to be moments where we're going to feel anxious. And because there's so much uncertainty and things that are happening, it's hard to not feel that way. But the goal is to not have it become at baseline where that's the only way we're feeling. So paying attention to your daily activities. 15 years ago, if you had have said like nature and walking and taking time to breathe, or not watching certain things on TV is your medicine for like dealing with depression, I would have been like, how is that going to help me with what I'm feeling? Like, I was very skeptic about it. But the more I start to do it and change my environment, because one thing about America, I don't know where you live, but I know here in America, we don't really talk about or value like our internal power that we have, like how much power we have over what's happening inside. I know we don't have a lot of power over the external things, but unfortunately, that's the only thing we end up focusing on. We only focus on like what's not happening or only the negative. And so it's hard for us to see past that. So really like working on creating a routine. and mourn the loss of the life that you had, right? Because it's easy to be like, but I used to go and hang out with my friends on Friday night, or I used to be able to go to yoga, and I can't do that anymore. So what? I can't do anything. So when you find yourself saying like, I can't do anything, like that's not true. There are things we can do. We can, like, if let's just use yoga for example, we can like put a yoga video on from YouTube. It's not the same as being in a studio, but we don't have that option. So let's just look at what we have. And that's something that I try to stress. Does that make sense what I'm saying? How much sleeping is too much sleeping? I would say, I think if I'm not mistaken, that the average, like a good night's sleep is like 6 to 8 hours. So like if you're finding yourself sleeping the whole day away, I think it's really tempting to get up and just, eat something and go back to sleep. I highly advise not doing that because it causes you to feel restless. And so like really thinking about like waking up, even if you used to go to work or you used to have a different type of routine, you have to start to wrap your mind around the fact that this is a new norm. This is a new norm. And so when you start to understand like this is a new norm and I can control what I have control over inside, I think it'll be more likely that you'll be able to kind of do it and start doing it consistently, right? My oversleeping to have and putting yoga video, watch it play. Putting yoga video and watching it play doesn't count if you're not working out with them. That's true. Yeah, so like don't just let it play, like do a little something with them. If you ain't never tried yoga before, this is the perfect time to try something you haven't really tried before, or research something you haven't really researched before. Those goals or those things that you said you wish you had more time for, like dust off that vision board that you created just 2 months ago, but it's probably full of dust, and like start looking at that. That's important. My oversleeping I used to have was definitely linked to depression. Yes. The oversleeping is definitely can be linked. That's a sign of depression. Oh, my girl Legally Brunette is in here. Celeste, girl, I'm losing my mind still. She's been in here all week, and it's okay. I'm not going to tell you not to lose your mind. Today you might be losing your mind, but we're going to work on tomorrow. And it looks like I'm going to try yoga tomorrow. There we go. I like that comment. So Legally Brunette's going to try yoga tomorrow because today she's losing her mind. And like, you know what? Today is not a good day for you. We just have to like call it out what it is. It's not a good day. She says, I can't catch my mind. And so, you know what? I'm glad you said that because that's the purpose of being still and creating these routines and like understanding what's happening so we can work on catching our mind. Or here's a really good suggestion, a really good suggestion that it should be at the top of your list. You can always listen to Celeste's podcast and have some long walks. Jawan, you know how much I like that statement. That's really good. That's like you're a genius. You're a genius. That is so perfect. So yeah, if you guys don't know, I do have a podcast, a mental health podcast. Today was okay for me. I found bleach today, so now I can wash whites. You know what? Beauty for Ashes. It's all about the little things. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knew that we would be grateful for having some bleach to wash white clothes? It's all about the little things. And so I'm glad that you're able to say that. I was making sure you wasn't saying nothing about swallowing no bleach, but you was talking about, I had to read it again before I put it up. So I was like, okay, we can rock out with that. It's about the little things. Making sure you're being mindful of the little things is huge. I had to resist the urge to grab off for because I've been looking all week. Next time we speak, I'm going to be a pro yogi. and having have you done yoga before? Are you going to be a yogi overnight? Or through this quarantine, you're going to work on becoming a yogi? I like that. I've been mad all week about them empty shelves. Yes. So now you got the bleach, and now you can wash your white clothes. So definitely, like, that's something to be grateful for. And so that's another thing too, like when we're dealing with depression or anxiety, or the things that we don't have control over. If we can start to think about what am I grateful for today, like that's actually really huge. That's a practice that a lot of us haven't really practiced. But if we can start to look at the little things, like being able to wash our clothes is like huge, and it can really like shift your mindset. Once 3-month quarantine is over, I'll be hopping on my house. All right, that's good. I can't wait to hear the stories. I can't wait to hear about it. So does anybody else have any other ways that they've been coping? I'm grateful for you guys popping in here tonight. I enjoy like doing these like check-ins. The morning is kind of like, I want us to think about how we're going to be intentional about the morning. And then, the evening is like, kind of what did we do? If it didn't go well, it didn't go well. But how can we work on resetting for tomorrow? We don't have to throw away the whole week because something didn't work out today, right? We can really work on kind of looking at what can we do tomorrow and what can we do the next day. So like literally like taking it one day at a time, and being kind to yourself. You're human. All this has come out of nowhere. So really like understanding like it's okay that things didn't work out and that I don't feel okay today. That's really okay. I'm going to get through the day. I'm still breathing. And that's good. So check out my podcast. You guys can follow me anywhere. Celeste the Therapist. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I have like 157 podcasts. That'll get you through your 3 months. You can listen to one, or hopefully not 3 months. I didn't mean to say that. 3 months, maybe a couple months. I'm looking at Legally Brunette's comment. That'll get you through some that'll get you through a little bit of your day, to hear like a motivating story, and give you some kind of hope. For people that are inside with people and you find yourself feeling irritable or you need space, like, summer's here. If you live on the East Coast, obviously if you live on the West Coast, you guys have like nice weather all year round. So I feel like it's gonna, I think it might be like 2 months. So people on the West Coast, you guys kind of have good weather, but here in Boston, today was the first day of spring, and I made sure to like make the best of it, and it was a nice day. If the silver lining is that I'm just glad this didn't happen in the wintertime. Seasonal depression is high. We're already kind of stuck inside. Then it's dark and cold, so that would have been worse. Then that heat bill, oh my gosh. Everybody inside, like that just would have been a lot more of a struggle. So if this was going to happen at any time, I mean, like, I'm trying to look at the silver lining and looking at like the beauty in the struggle. Like I think that's huge when we can take the good out the bad and just kind of focus on that. That's huge. Hey, what's up, Mike Bledsoe? So if you just came in, spring does take some of the sting out of this. Yeah, it does. When you see the sun and kind of go for a walk and just think about the things that you're grateful for. I think that's really helpful. I've been doing this stuff for a while, right? I've been like focusing on my mental health and looking at the things, the beauty and the struggle and smelling the roses. So this is a practice that I've already been doing. So don't take it as if I'm saying it like it's just easy to just go from one extreme to the other. Most of y'all are completely in detox right now. I'm not talking about from substances. I'm just talking about from everything that you've done to try to distract yourself from thinking about what you've been thinking. So right now you're in a detox and it's very hard. You're going through some serious withdrawals, from whether you were a partier or you had multiple relationships or you was just shopaholic or, whatever it is, and you can't do it anymore. and you're kind of forced to like, you know, a lot of the habits that we've created was because we have tried to distract ourselves. We may not have been able to make the connection, right? We may not have been we may not have been able to consciously say, when I'm feeling lonely or when I'm feeling insecure, I find myself calling this person, or I find myself doing X, Y, and Z. We may not have been able to say that, but that's the reality of why we're just constantly like distracting ourselves or doing these things and always feeling like, why do I keep going in that circle doing the same thing? Now, the way things are operating in society, you no longer have that option. And so now it's just like you're forced to sit with some of the feelings that you've never sat with before. And that's very hard, right? Whether you choose to do it or you're forced to do it, there's nothing easy about doing that when that hasn't been the way that you've been operating. That's the way they wrote. All distractions have been pretty much canceled now. Yes, all like literally what Bree is saying, all distractions have been pretty much canceled. And so because, you know, we're kind of forced to look at ourselves and we're forced to look in the mirror and look at the hard parts. I really want us to think about doing it, right? We can either, you know, now that we're kind of like forced in this way and we kind of hit this bottom, we can either look at it or we end up developing more bad habits, right? Or we end up creating new bad habits, right? We end up creating these new things, or our depression ends up increasing, or our anxiety ends up increasing, right? And so like I you know, once like when depression and anxiety increases, you start to feel like you don't have control over it, and it's hard. But I'm kind of here to say, like, you know, we can work on doing some things to help curb some of those emotions and the things that we're struggling with. And I really want to help you understand why you might be feeling this way, right? And so, like, if I understand the why, and I'm not just sitting around like, dang, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just get it together? If you could be like, oh, that's what happened. I used to always look forward to going to work because I don't have to think about my thoughts. I would drown myself in work, right? And so if I start to understand that I've been using work as a coping mechanism, and that's why I've been finding myself struggling more now, it's not that you were never struggling. It's just that you haven't been able to see the struggle because you've been masking it with some other things, right? Oh, cool. Thank you for following me. So that's something that's important to understand. This quarantine will create things. Number one, divorce. We'll create three things: divorces, single breakups. What is single breakups? Oh, I don't know what that means, but baby boom in December. I think there'll definitely end up being a baby boom. And then the relationship stuff, like, I can only imagine if you have never really sat with your partner, talked with your partner, you're kind of forced to look at them. And so, like, being mindful of your energy and how much you're giving certain scenarios or situations, because you have control over your energy, whether or not you believe it. If you are the person that finds themselves saying, this person made me feel this way, or this person made me like do this, like, be mindful of that, because a lot of times it's the stuff that we have control over, but we don't even recognize that we do. So if you can hear the language that you're saying about the situation, I do that with college. I block my thoughts out because I'm so busy with work. Yes, that's something that that we do. And a lot of times people don't even understand. A lot of times people don't even understand that that's the case. Hey, what's up? And so, yeah, my practice. So I practice in Massachusetts, in Boston, Mass. That's harsh. You're forced to look at them. You are like, it's the reality. You're forced to kind of look at what's happening. You got forced into detox, you know. I should tweet that. We've been forced into detox. And so we can either go through this detox, right, and start analyzing our life and analyzing ourselves, or we can pick up a new habit, you know. Like, the choice is yours. You have the power, whether or not you realize it, you actually have the power to make those changes. So let me just put this up. So Celeste the Therapist, you can find me literally everywhere. I was in Detroit in January and it looks like Atlanta. By force, I know. Yep. You can literally find me everywhere. I have never wanted to read Time magazines like that. I'm doing. Yes, that's good. Okay, good. So you're finding like small, subtle ways to do things. And the internet, like we are in the age of the internet. It's 2020. We have options to so knowing that we have the internet and we have options to certain things. Please be mindful that you are filtering out what you're looking at, because you could spend hours on Instagram. You be on one thing, then you end up on another thing, and you be like, "How do I get to this person's page?" And when you start going back and back, you be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I clicked on this and then clicked on that." So when you start to look on the internet, be intentional about what you're going on there to do, right? So first thing in the morning, get up, write yourself out a schedule, get a piece of paper. Like the stuff I always suggest is free. I don't never talk about things that's going to cost money. I'm putting all the excuses out of your head. Like I ain't giving you room to make excuses. Get you a piece of paper. And if you say I ain't got no paper, so let's put it in the notes on your phone. Like write it down. Write down like what is my intention going to be for today? Like what am I going to do for today? And start 9 o'clock waking up. I'm going to get some breakfast. I'm going to have a stretch. I'm going to have some tea. I'm going to put on a 15-minute meditation session, and I'm going to just sit and observe my thoughts. And I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Like literally like plan out your day so that you won't giving the excuse for yourself. Typing in things popping up on the screen. Sorry, I'm laughing at him. He's such a he's like, Juwan's been with me forever. So Juwan's been with me forever. So this is new for me. And y'all know I ain't even gonna lie. Hey, Instagram, if y'all come to Facebook, Periscope, or YouTube, you can kind of see everything. I ain't even gonna lie. Yeah, the next thing you know, an hour passed. Yo, Juwan, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm feeling myself a little bit because it's like I learned how to do it. If you came at the beginning, there was a lot of techie difficulties. There was a lot of tech difficulties I was having. Sound wasn't on. I was trying to do everything and do the most. I was like, we're gonna get this together. We're gonna get this together. And so the growth, yes. Time was to end up, yes. So put screen time limits on your social media, because you can end up spending 10 hours on Instagram. You sound like you're talking from personal experience. So put time limits on, like literally look at your clock. Even set an alarm on your phone. Like put an alarm on your phone and be like, hey Nene, put an alarm on your phone to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna spend 20 minutes on social media. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna have me a nice healthy snack, or I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna be doing it, like let yourself know like you're gonna be doing it. Wake up with intention. When you set your tone at the beginning of the day, like everything is possible. You were tech nothing. I know. Any environment when analyzed properly will show you how to react. Yes, that is true. Any environment when analyzed, and in order to analyze it, you got to stop and pay attention and be still. Y'all know, Juwan, Mike, like Rooted for Ashes. Y'all know I've been preaching this from the beginning. Before this pandemic, I've been telling y'all, if y'all ain't learned it yet, y'all don't got no excuse, because y'all learned from me. And I know that y'all know it's important to be still and pay attention to what you're thinking, and how much that can allow you to really like shift the way that you think and not feel like things are impossible. You start to feel like, yes, things are possible. Like, yes, I can do it. That's huge. So guys, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for rocking out with me. I'll be here in the morning. I'm sure. I'm sorry. Like, why you gotta tell everybody about the poster board? Like, I'm doing it now. You know, I'm like doing it and I'm feeling myself because I could just click on something and call you out, you know? So yeah, so y'all make sure if y'all listen to my podcast, thank you. But Beauty for Ashes, that's my boo. Thank you. So like if y'all listen to my podcast, make sure y'all leave me a rating on iTunes. Hook a sister up. You know, the more ratings y'all give me. If y'all don't like the podcast, I don't want your little 2 stars. Leave your 2 stars. Just don't listen to it. Don't mess up my ratings. But if you rock with me hard, I appreciate you know thank you. I appreciate if you can leave me a rating. You love it all. Thank you, Ocasas. Ocasas, that's my boo too. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. If y'all can hook a sister up. Yo, Mimi, they stay coming for me. You see, everybody see how y'all doing me. I'm used to it. This is what they do. They do this to me all the time. This is nothing new. Before, like, I used to come on here Monday through Friday, like 4 or 5 years ago on Periscope. So like this is the cardboard days. I used to have like this is before any books. I ain't had no book. I ain't have no little thing right here. I ain't have no webcam. I ain't have no mic. I ain't have nothing. You know, little by little, I start to get my stuff up. I start to like, you know, get little stuff here, little stuff there. And so now we here, you know, we got the thing streaming on one platform. I can put the comments up. So, you know, I'm a little happy about that. And that's right. Celeste is in the house. So yeah, so you guys, seriously though, thank you so much for rocking with me, and for all of your support. All of y'all support me so hard, and I'm beyond grateful for that, because I could not have gone this far without support. You know, when I started on Periscope 5 years ago, like I was really talking to myself. I had the camera on. I would come on, have my little notes and just do what I do. But I stayed consistent and I like kept the same time. And little by little, people started finding me. And then I had people to have conversations with. And then, you know, I kept it going. And then from there was the book. From the book was the podcast. Then the second book. And so now we're here. And so like, I'm beyond grateful. And I'll never forget. So I got a little outro. You know, I got my little... Don't laugh at me, y'all. I got my little outro, you know, my little podcast thing. If y'all, I know Javon is cracking. I know y'all laughing at me. I don't care. I'm about to put my little outro on. This is new for me, so I got my own little show. The grind always pays off. It really does. I'm a living witness of that. It really does pay off. So I'm going to leave you with a little snippet from the music from my podcast that I love. Shut up, Mike. Mike is silly. I love you guys. Make sure you follow me. You guys know how to follow me. You can follow me. Hi, Nancy. I'm just about to get off, but how are you? So yeah. So make sure you guys. Hey, Robin. Y'all coming up in here late. I'm about to go, y'all, but I love y'all so much. Yeah, the theme song on the podcast. Oh, I love you too, Nini. I just can't stand y'all. I swear I can't. Hold on, I'm gonna put my little outro on real quick just so y'all can like hear a little snippet of the song if y'all haven't heard it. Let me see, where is it? I gotta find it. You know, it's my first time doing it. Give me a second, bear with me.
Every hug, every kiss, every touch, every person in my life that I care about and love. But wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste, the therapist. Let's go. Every hug, every kiss, every touch, every person in my life that I care about and love. But wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste, the therapist. Let's go.